Good morning. This is Jim Seibel coming to you from my home in Dothan, Alabama. And I talk a little bit this morning about a book that I wrote that came out on Amazon December 2nd of 2016. The title of the book is Blood, Sweat, and Tears for 46 Years. It's a book about my life as a teacher, coach, administrator, businessman, with all the joys, the sorrows, the triumphs, and the failures that go into a lot of lives. With scattered amongst the book are 96 what I call coaching lessons, which are life lessons that resulted in lessons that I learned from other people by a school of hard knocks, or I learned from a player or a teacher or a parent, and that those coaching points and life lessons may be of value to anybody that's going through a similar situation, and they have nothing to do with sports. But what I want to do this morning is there's 43 chapters in the book, and it's really a good read. And one of the chapters in the book is entitled, Would You Sell Your Blood for Football? And that chapter kind of starts this way. In 1970, I just had left, I was a college coach at Lehigh University, and I decided that that was not the life that I wanted to live. I wanted to be a high school coach and a teacher, and I felt like that's the reason I was put on this earth. And so I went back into high school coaching. I took a job at a school in Enola, Pennsylvania by the name of East Pennsboro High School. East Pennsboro was a nice school, and it was a working class community. And so I ventured back into high school coaching. One of the things that's always been high on my priority list is I'm a lifelong learner, whether it's about life or whether it's about my chosen profession, which happened to be coaching football. So in the fall, not in the fall, but in the spring of each year, when the season was over, I always wanted to take our coaching staff and myself and go visit other schools, other colleges, seminars, clinics they call them, and I really just had a desire to improve our knowledge of what we were doing, better techniques and new items to learn to help our kids and our players and our staff and so forth. The problem with that, it takes a lot of money, and money in the public school systems, sometimes the budget didn't hardly ever meet what I wanted to do. So one day, one of my coaches came to me and said, "You know where I've been?" I said, "No, I don't have a clue where you've been, Dave." And he said, "Well, I just went across the river in Harrisburg, and I sold my blood plasma, and they paid me a check." I said, "Really?" He said, "I'm going back Thursday. Do you want to go?" I said, "No, I don't like needles, and I don't want anything to do with that." Well, I went home that night and something just popped into my head. I said, I wonder if I could get my coaches and some other friends to go over there and do that twice a week, and maybe we could take half of that or a portion of that money and put it in a pool, and then we could travel around to these clinics and have a budget that was after the school board budget money ran out, which wasn't a whole lot. So we started to do that, and it turned into almost kind of like a party, because after a while we had 8 or 10 coaches and faculty members, and they were all joining in. It was kind of like a party, and we rolled in there. They said, "Here are the coaches," and they gave us orange juice and cookies, and we laughed, and we got a check. And so that enabled us to go all over the place. As a matter of fact, the next year I wanted to go to the University of Texas to study there what they were doing, and I went to the school board, and they said, did my best salesman job. They said, "Okay, we'll pay for it with you and one other guy, but we're only going to pay for the airfare. You're going to have to come up with your own money for lodging and transportation and whatever else." And so I went to the faculty and I went to the rest of the coaches again. I said, "Hey, look, let's do a fundraiser, a blood plasma fundraiser." And sure enough, we did it, and it turned into a joyful event, and we were able to bring that knowledge back, and it helped our team, and it was So we actually sold our blood for football, but sometimes in the course of practice, the players would be hot and tired, and as young men do, they're complaining of this and that, and I just look over and I said, "Hey, don't tell me your problems. Our coaches bleed for you." Well, guys, that's just one of the little blips in the book. Kind of interesting. It's a good read. It's full of a lot of humor. It's full of a lot of life lessons. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Tears for 46 Years. And my name is Jim Seibel, and I'm the author, and it's available on Amazon.com. That's Blood, Sweat, and Tears for 46 Years. Thank you. Have a blessed day, and God bless, and see you soon. Bye-bye.